Okay, we're ready to start. You guys ready? Okay. Excuse me. I'd like to call the Town Board meeting of October 8th, 2024 to order. Please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence to remember those who served our country in the past and for those who continue to protect our country today. And please keep everyone in mind for who suffered from the prior storm and for the storm hitting Florida tomorrow. Thank you. Please note the emergency exits are the door you came in and the door behind us. Our town supervisor, Craig Wallace, has a few words. I'm sorry. Yes.
To prevent to prevent a recurrence of the events of our last meeting, I wanted to point out that this board adopted rules for public comment at the January reorganization meeting, and I will read some of those rules in pertinent part so that those who are in attendance today can conduct themselves by those rules. So part of the rules it's entitled Rules of Decorum, and purposes of Rules of Decorum are to ensure that meetings of the town board are conducted in a way that allows the business of the town to be effectively undertaken. And it's to ban egregious, inappropriate, and obstructive behavior at meetings of the town board. There are rules for the speaker who comes to the podium. The speaker shall conduct himself or herself in a professional and respectful manner. All remarks shall be directed to the town board and not at town staff or the public in attendance. And the speaker shall not defame, intimidate, make personal affronts, make threats of violence, or use profanity. I will also read for you the rules for the public. The members of the public in the audience shall not engage in any of the following activities during a town board meeting: shouting, clapping, unruly behavior, distracting side conversations, or speaking out. 2, defamation, intimidation, personal affronts, threats of violence, or profanity. And 3, behavior that disrupts the orderly conduct of the meeting. There are rules of enforcement for the rules of decorum. If there is a violation of the rules of decorum, the presiding officer shall request that the person or persons violating the rules cease the violation. You'll be warned one time. If the violation continues, he or she may be asked to be escorted out of the building.
Okay. What time do you have, Craig?
6:03.
We're having a public hearing on local law number 2, but it's to start at 6:10. So while we're waiting for that time to pass, I will make some comments on the agenda items that we have. Resolution number 1 is our housekeeping budget revisions. Number 2 is we're setting a public hearing for the Dover Ridge Assessment Roll, and that is going to take place November 6th. And there is a correction to the local law number 2, 2024 moratorium, and we're going to make that correction. Resolution number 4 is a change order for the Beekman Recreation Swim Pond Permanent Weir Project. The contractor discovered an existing 12-inch pond supply pipe, as well as a pipe fitting, which was located in the area of the permanent weir, and it had to be relocated. Resolution number 5, we're going to approve pay app number 1 for the Beekman Swim Pond Permanent Weir. And this was a weir that DEC required the town to put in. Resolution number 6, approving the pay app for Giamo's Electric for the Town Hall emergency generator. Resolution number 7 is designating Merson Capillari as a voting representative to the Dutchess County MS4 Coordination Committee and to act as a stormwater program coordinator. This is the Speedy's general permit requires the coordinator, and Merson has already been serving as the voting rep for this group. Number 8 is accepting the Beekman Recreation Swim Pond Permanent Weir Grant Award Agreement. We received a $50,000 grant from Dutchess County Soil and Water Conservation District of Dutchess County, and we really appreciated the grant. We want to thank Brian Skorlik, who's the executive director, and for his assistance, as well as the town engineer, Dan Kohler, in obtaining this for us. Resolution number 9, authorizing the creation of a Town Center Park Improvement Capital Project Fund. For 2025, we're going to concentrate on our park facilities, and we're looking to upgrade some of them, particularly with ADA requirements. The rec director will be presenting the proposed upgrades at a future town board meeting. Resolution number 10 is a funding source for Doherty Park Capital Project Fund. Again, that will be one of our parks. That one particularly needs upgrades to a road in as well as drainage for that road. And resolution number 11 is the payment of the claims. What time do you have, Craig? 6:06. Okay, we'll open the meeting, the public hearing. We'll leave it open because 2 of the board members have some comments, so we'll leave it open for a few minutes. So let me do that. At this time, I make a motion to open the public hearing on local law number 2-2024, enacting a temporary moratorium on all battery energy storage system facilities at what was it, Craig?
It's 6:07.
6:07, okay. Second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Merson, could you read the resolution just to let people?
So resolution number 924-24-4 is the resolution introducing local law number 2-2024 and providing for public notice and hearing. The date of consideration and adoption is October 8, 2024. Be it resolved that a local law establishing a temporary land use moratorium prohibiting lithium battery storage facilities in the town of Beekman is hereby introduced by as introductory local law number 2 of the year 2024 before the town board of the town of Beekman in the county of Dutchess and the state of New York. And be it further resolved that copies of the aforesaid proposed local law, which is attached hereto, be laid upon the desk of each member of the board. And be it further resolved that the town board will hold a public hearing on said proposed notice in the official newspaper of the town of Beekman of said public hearing at least 5 days prior thereto.
Thank you. Izzy, you've got some comments on it?
Yeah, just briefly about the battery energy storage systems, also called BESS. They do not produce electricity on their own. Instead, they store it. These facilities generally consist of rows of rechargeable batteries housed in self-contained, interconnected storage units. BESS facilities typically operate by drawing surplus energy from the local power grid during periods of low usage and storing it for later distribution back into the grid during peak demand. Thus, proponents of BESS offer that these facilities can reinforce the local power grid not only on a daily routine basis, but also during emergencies when demand is especially high or when electrical transmission from outside the local grid is severed. Opponents of these facilities have raised concerns over the presence of highly flammable substances, such as from lithium-ion batteries, and possible air and groundwater contamination. That's just briefly.
Thank you. So the moratorium's for 9 months, and it's going to give the town board some time to study the issue and develop some in-depth info before any decisions are made. Lorraine, did the resolution and affidavit of publication of the official notice be entered into the record?
Yes, it has.
Okay, have you gotten any written comments?
I have not.
Okay. Would anybody like to speak on the topic? Okay, we'll leave it open for a few minutes because we started a few minutes early. And then, what time?
It's 6:10, so.
Okay. I'll ask again, does anybody want to speak to it? Okay.
Supervisor, if I can just interject one thing, there was a 239 comment letter that came back from county planning. I'd ask that that be also be made part of the record. County planning deemed this to be a matter of local concern and had no
Okay.
comments.
And we added it to the supplemental package.
The local law had a couple of typographical errors that were amended at the last meeting, but I'll do so again. The word battery in the title is, there has to be a Y added to that in the third line.
Okay.
And in the eighth paragraph, which is the last whereas on the first page, it should read, whereas the town board of the town of Beekman has determined that the local law is a type 2 action in accordance with section 617.5 C 36 seeker.
Right, we have a resolution for that on tonight. I think I may have skipped it, but we have the resolution for that, resolution number 3. Okay. And so I make a motion to leave the public hearing open until October 22nd for further written comments that would be accepted by 4 p.m. on October 22nd. And we will leave it open until 6:05 October 22nd.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I make a, okay, we did that one. Now, let's get to... Okay. Bill Crane, you had some comments on the agenda items?
Bill Crane, 254 Gardner Hollow Road. I want to speak on 7, and I guess it's 10. I want to thank and congratulate Merson for taking the job of, with respect to the runoff and the pollution. That's a real big issue, the pollution runoff in this town and other towns in the county. As the board knows, I've been concerned about the development on steep slopes. So the comprehensive plan says prohibit development on steep slopes, and they mean slopes over 25% grade. That means for every 100 feet, horizontally it goes down 25 feet. That's a 25% grade. Steep slopes are like a runway for water, for pollution. When you develop, there's a lot of non-point source pollution, just vague things people aren't aware of, like leaky garbage bags, exhaust and oil from cars. The exhaust doesn't just disappear, it comes back down and goes into the water. It's like I say, it's a speedway. And another issue is in our town and other towns. So I think that I once again would urge a zoning change. We can have development on steep slopes, but not when they're 25%, not that steep. I mean, that's pretty much universally considered a very steep slope, and I'd like to see that changed in our town and other towns and make maybe a county issue. Another issue is pesticides. I'd like to hope that our representative is aware of the use of pesticides in our parklands and parkland and lands everywhere. And on number 10, Doherty Park. I hope that that is not paved. Like a steep slope, asphalt is like a conduit. It's like a great friend to pollution runoff that can get into the streams. When the surface is natural, it's natural earth and vegetation, it's permeable, it absorbs it, it doesn't just let it run down into the waters. So I hope that issue is on the forefront, and I wish everybody good luck in trying to protect the earth around us. Thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, we're set. Merson, do you want to start?
Good evening. Resolution number 1, resolution approving the Town of Beekman Budget Revision 2024-09. Whereas the Town of Beekman Accounting Office recommends certain budget revisions based on department requests and/or the Accounting Office review and analysis of expenditures or revenues. Now therefore be it resolved that the following itemized revisions are approved by the Town of Beekman Town Board for 2024, identified as budget revision number 2024-09, as follows.
I'll second that.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Capillari?
Aye.
Councilman Benalini?
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman?
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci?
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Okay, resolution number 2, set public hearing for Dover Ridge assessment rolls. Whereas the assessor to the Town of Beekman has completed and filed the assessment rolls for Dover Ridge Water and Sewer District pursuant to Article 15 of the New York State Law, Town Law, and whereas pursuant to Section 239 of the Town Law, a public hearing on such assessment rolls shall be held. Now therefore be it resolved that a public hearing to gather resident input on the Dover Ridge assessment rolls will be held on November 6, 2024, at 6:10 p.m. at the Beekman Town Hall, 4 Main Street, Hookquake, New York, and that the notice shall be published in the Poughkeepsie Journal, a newspaper circulating in the Town of Beekman, stating that the Dover Ridge Water and Sewer District assessment rolls have been completed and that the Town Board will meet and hear any objections which may be made to the rolls at the time and place specified above, and that such notice shall be posted on the bulletin board in the Town Clerk's office and placed on the Town of Beekman website. And be it further resolved that the Town Board will also accept written public comments until 4 p.m. on November 6, 2024.
Second?
I'll second that.
Okay, town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Capillari?
Aye.
Councilman Benalini?
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman?
Aye.
And Supervisor Cavucci?
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Resolution number 3, whereas the section of local law for secret was incorrectly stated as a type 30 action, section 617.5C30 secret, and needs to be replaced with section 617.5C36 secret. Now therefore be it resolved that the replacement will read as follows. Section 617.5C36 secret.
I'll second.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Councilman Capillari?
Aye.
Councilman Benalini?
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman?
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci?
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Whereas the town engineer is in receipt of a change order dated September 20th, 2024 from Kingston Equipment Rental, Inc., see attached, Swim Palm Stone Weir Improvements, RFP 2024-0415-1, change order number 1. And whereas the contractor discovered the existing 12-inch pond supply pipe as well as a pipe fitting was located in the area of the permanent weir, which had to be relocated as not to interfere with the permanent weir. And whereas the town engineer recommends that the pipe be reconfigured as suggested by the contractor, now therefore be it resolved that the Town of Beekman Town Board approves change order number 1 for the Beekman Recreation Pond Permanent Swim Weir Project in an amount not to exceed $2,687.52.
I'll second it.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Capillari?
Aye.
Councilman Benalini?
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman?
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci?
Aye.
Resolution passed.
Resolution number 5, approve pay app Beekman Swim Pond Permanent Weir Project. Whereas the town engineer is in receipt of a certificate of payment request package dated September 25th, 2024 from Kingston Equipment Rental, Inc., requesting payment app number 1 in the amount of $204,087.52, less a 5% retainage, $10,204.38. for a total of $193,883.14. See the attached. The contractor has requested full or partial payment of the items on the continuation sheet covering the period of June 20, 2024 through September 25th, 2024. And whereas the town engineer has reviewed the request and agrees with the quantity of the work completed per the continuation sheet, and whereas the town engineer recommends that the invoice be paid. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town of Beekman Town Board authorizes the payment of pay app number 1 to Kingston Equipment Rental, Inc. in an amount not to exceed $193,883.14.
I'll second that.
Okay. Town Board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Capelari.
Aye.
Councilman Bellini.
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman.
Aye.
And Supervisor Cavucci.
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Resolution number 6, approve pay app for Giamo Electric for Town Hall emergency generator. Whereas the town engineer is in receipt of a payment request package dated September 6, 2024 from John A. Giamo and Son, requesting the first and final payment in the amount of $19,700. See attached invoice 14643-2. John A. Giamo and Son, Inc. has requested full payment for their services related to RFP 2024-0502, covering the period of June 4th, 2024 through September 6th, 2024, with a total completed value of $19,700. And whereas the town engineer has reviewed the request and agrees with the quantity of work completed and also certifies that the completed works associated with the contract have been substantially completed and is acceptable. And whereas the town engineer recommends that the invoice be paid. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town of Beekman Town Board authorizes the payment to John A. Giamo and Son, Incorporated, for an amount not to exceed $19,700. The one-year warranty period on the electrical services commences on final payment.
I'll second.
Town Board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Capelari.
Aye.
Councilman Bellini.
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman.
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci.
Aye.
Resolution passed.
Resolution number 7, whereas the Speedy's general permit for storm water discharge from MS4s requires that the town develop, implement, and enforce a stormwater management program designed to reduce the discharge of pollutants from the town's storm sewer system to the maximum extent practical as required by federal and state law. Whereas the town of Beekman is an active member in the Dutchess County MS4 Coordination Committee, and whereas the town of Beekman continues to recognize the committee as integral to the safety and efficiency of our town's soil and water infrastructure, and whereas membership allows the town of Beekman to assign a representative to represent the town and vote in committee procedures, and whereas the Speedy's general permit requires that a stormwater program coordinator be appointed. Now therefore be it resolved that the town of Beekman designates Merson Capelari as a voting member to represent the town of Beekman on the Dutchess County MS4 Coordination Committee until such time as a replacement is named, and names him as the town's stormwater program coordinator until such time as a replacement is named.
I'll second.
Town Board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Capelari.
Aye.
Councilman Bellini.
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman.
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci.
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Whereas the town of Beekman has been notified the Dutchess County Soil and Water Conservation District of Dutchess County that they are offering a $50,000 grant for the swim pond stoneware improvements. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board accepts with appreciation the grant is hereby attached and instructs the supervisor to sign the same.
I'll second that.
Town Board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Councilman Capelari.
Aye.
Councilman Bellini.
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman.
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci.
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 9, authorizing the creation of the Town Center Park Improvement Capital Project Fund. Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Beekman desires to install a new ADA playground at the Town Center Park and make other improvements, and whereas the town intends to purchase such equipment through a government contract, and whereas the town would like to use the federal ARPA funds for the project. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Beekman approves the creation of the Town Center Park Improvements Capital Project Fund for the installation of the playground equipment and other improvement with $300,000 transfer from the federal ARPA funds.
I'll second.
Town Board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Councilman Capillari?
Aye.
Councilman Badalini?
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman?
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci?
Aye.
Resolution passed.
Resolution 10, resolution revising the funding source for the Doherty Park Capital Project Fund. Whereas the Town of Beekman Town Board previously in Resolution 0924-24-7 created the Doherty Park Capital Project Fund, and whereas the town would like to revise the funding source for the Capital Project Fund, now therefore be resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Beekman hereby approves the $100,000 transfer from the federal ARPA fund.
I'll second that.
Town Board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Councilman Capillari?
Aye.
Councilman Badalini?
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman?
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci?
Aye.
Resolution passed.
Whereas the bookkeeper has audited and approved claims pursuant to Section 119 of Town Law set forth in the attached abstracts, be it resolved that the payment therefore is hereby authorized as follows. Claims to be paid from the A General Fund, $51,141.22. Claims to be paid from the DA Highway Fund, $209.58. Claims to be paid from the SS Dover Ridge Sewer, $3,931.99. Claims to be paid from the SW Dover Ridge Water, $1,170.68. Claims to be paid from the T Trust Fund, $3,125. Claims to be paid from the H Capital Fund, $20,652, for a total of $80,230.47. 9/26/24 payroll 20 general fund, $34,514.52. Highway fund, $23,129.19, for a total of $58,143.71.
I'll second that.
Town Board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Capillari?
Aye.
Councilman Badalini?
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman?
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci?
Aye.
Resolution passed.
I have a resolution I'd like to offer from the floor.
Go ahead.
Whereas by Resolution 0910-24-7, the date of the fall cleanup was scheduled for Saturday, October 26, 2024, between the hours of 7 a.m. and 2 p.m. in the Town Hall parking lot. And whereas bids were received for services as described in the legally published notice and opened and read publicly by the town clerk on Tuesday, October 8, 2024 at 10 a.m. And whereas the highway superintendent is concerned that observing the time requirements for agenda items to be put on the October 22, 2024 agenda may not allow the vendor sufficient notice to have the needed containers on site. Now therefore be it resolved that Royal Carting be awarded the contract for Fall Cleanup Day with the following per ton rates: MSW $269 a ton, tires $599 a ton, e-waste $660 a ton, and be it further resolved that the supervisor be and hereby is authorized to execute any and all documents necessary to carry out the services.
Second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Town Board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Councilman Capillari?
Aye.
Councilman Badalini?
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman?
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci?
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Okay, thank you. Our next regular Town Board meeting will be Tuesday, October 22nd at 6 p.m., and we will continue with the public hearing for the moratorium. And another update, the Town Board Department Head Work Session for Thursday, October 10th is canceled. There'll be no department heads we're going to be attending. They're meeting with the budget officer instead. And we now have public comments. Tom Mullins?
Just before I start, as retired law enforcement, I would like us all to thank the Sheriff's Department that's here today for their service to the community on an ongoing basis. So I think we should, a round of applause. The catch basins on Roosevelt Drive from Thomas Street to Van Scoy are failing and are a safety hazard to pedestrians, bicycles, and vehicles. Emergency repairs and replacement are necessary. This morning at 8 a.m., I called our Superintendent of Highways, Tony Coviello. We discussed the road conditions, and by 10 a.m., he and his personnel were on Roosevelt Drive making repairs to include all the catch basins and storm drains. Once the emergency repairs are completed, this section of Roosevelt Drive needs to be paved. Tony Coviello has requested $250,000 in the paving line item in the 2025 budget to allow for the paving in the town. This compares to $32,000 that was allotted in 2024. It's just unbelievable to think. $32,000 for the town of Beekman. Now, the town board has the authority to approve the roads that are going to be paved in the town of Beekman, not the highway superintendent. The board is currently in the process of adopting the 2025 budget. It's imperative that the board approve the amount requested by our highway superintendent. So personally, on behalf of 468 homeowners in Dalton Farm, we request the funds to be approved as submitted by our highway superintendent. The takeaway from this is a phone call to an independent elected official only responsible to the constituents of this town resulted in an immediate emergency response to fix a roadway in dire need of repairs. If this proposition were to go through, the red tape to get this done could have been months, and the decision to have it done would have been decided by a body only motivated by political means. So it's imperative that we vote down this proposal. We keep our highway superintendent where he is so that the town of Beekman residents can continue to enjoy safe roadways moving on. Thank you.
Thank you. Doug DeMasi, did you sign in?
Yes.
If it works, don't fix it. Judy Crawford and Margaret were the tax collectors. They worked for years, never any issues. Somehow, some way, Matt Kennedy got the elected position removed, and then the tax collector was appointed. The highway department has to stay the way it is. It's a power grab, no more, no less. They want to steal our vote. If you don't like Tony, vote him out. If you like him, vote him in. It's just that simple. The last thing is, after Tony, they're going to come after Lauren, the clerk, and then they're going to come after the judges. They want complete control all the time. And lastly, I look at the sheriffs here, young guys. I've been in town since the 70s. This is unbelievable. Usually at town boards, no problems. I blame the town board for the way they've treated we the people, that they feel now they need protection from the sheriffs. It's outrageous. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I just wanted to say something really quick. Are there any general comments for board?
We weren't going to do it tonight, but
I just want to do something for the taxes. So I just want to remind you guys that the last day to pay your your school tax is Tuesday the 15th. So I'll have extended hours, probably till like 7:30 to 6:30. So if you can just watch the website, I will post the hours on there. But it's going really well, and we're already at 69%. And so I just wanted to thank you all. So I appreciate it.
okay, I make a motion to adjourn the meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you for coming tonight.
What time is it?